Hello. This is just like a discussion, sort of like a studio process video, just to let you know how things are going in my little home studio, how things are kind of progressing, what I'm managing to accomplish. I tried to make some videos that were like those traditional progress videos, right, where you or drawing and you watch everything like in real time, and that really did not go very well because I had them posted, right, I had them posted to YouTube, and I don't know if I used copywritten music or what happened, but those videos, one day I just logged on and they were all gone. And they actually were gone on the website that I used to make them. So I wonder if I just didn't back them up properly and then somehow deleted them. Yeah, I would not be surprised if something along those lines happened. So I'm just doodling a little octopus while I'm getting started. So I'll just go over some things I've been working on so you can see, just a little chat about what's been successful, the goals, and yeah, just sort of where we're headed. Where the Little Forest Studio, a Little Forest Studio, is headed. So I'll just take you through a little tour of things I've accomplished so far. So I've made this painting, drawing. I'm calling it like You Will Get Through This. So it's really just the idea of facing these insurmountable challenges that we all face. We all have been stretched really thin this past year, gone through a lot of struggles this past year, um, and then just meeting it with just as much courage as we can, and bravery and confidence and hope. It's definitely something I'm working on. I can't lie to anyone and pretend that I am super optimistic and super hopeful. Like, that's a skill I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to learn how to be more hopeful and more optimistic in times of trouble. So, yeah, it's just a character that I made. Um, and she's facing these various sort of jellyfish, the, with a little fear, but also a little bravery. I don't know if you can see her face. So the process for this was a sketch in pencil, which I always love. I often feel like pencil sketches are so satisfying. Sometimes I don't even want to change them. You can see some of the pencil markings stay even after all the layers and things, which is nice. And then I went in with, I believe, crayon. So I really like just Crayola crayons, not a sponsor, um, as a first layer because there's just a lot of color saturation there, just a lot of joy. I find it to be really fun to draw with crayons, even though sometimes I'll look at the result and go, oh my goodness, what have I done? So, um, but, and I think that the process should be pleasant. When you're making art, there is this element of you're making it for other people. You're making it to hopefully bring a slice of joy to someone else in a way. Um, but also, I think, you should enjoy making it, and you should make things that you enjoy that also bring joy to you. I think that authenticity will come through. The hope is that authenticity will come through. And so after the crayons, I kind of let it sit for a while and just kind of kept it up on my wall for a minute. After a few months, I decided to take a picture of it and go over it in ArtRage. And in ArtRage, I added more of this kind of almost, I was hoping for a watercolor kind of vibe. Um, just trying to get some layers in there, and then added like the details in her face and things like that. And it is a hopeful sort of reminder. Like, I can see it, and I know I made this when I was in a really dark place, right? I was in a dark place, sort of reaching towards hope. Um, and even just to see over the passage of the past few months, it's a kind of like a visual cheerleader, sort of like, keep going, you can do it. Um, yeah, well, tomorrow will be another day, hopefully a better day. So that's that one. I'm thinking about getting a new printer because this is just printed on cardstock, which is, not ideal. Um, and then my printer, I thought it was out of ink because it's leaving these funny lines everywhere. I gave it more ink. I fed it. I fed the printer, and I did the cleaning, like a cleaning setting, and to no avail. So this one is not. This current printer is leaving me concerned. So I'm thinking about getting a better one, just in case I were to sell prints from myself. I currently have prints from like outsourced to a printer on my Etsy account, but the problem with that is maybe the turnover in the sense that if I want to see how something looks printed out today, and then make a few adjustments and see how it's printed out, it's a little trickier to have to like send off and have someone print it. It's also kind of expensive. So I think I could maybe provide more cost-effective prints, cheaper prints if I printed from home. So that's just something I'm considering. So, and also something to keep in mind if you notice like funny lines and things. So it might be from that. This next one is a deep sea vent. Really just been enamored with the deep sea. I teach science classes. Um, and one of the things we were talking about were features of the deeper parts of the sea. And so I was just looking online, and I did see a deep sea vent with this sort of, is it sulfuric kind of smoke spewing out. And it had these really lovely colors. Granted, they weren't like baby blue and purple and like lime green. That was not real. Um, but the colors were kind of vibrant, and it had some kind of coralish vibrancy going there. And so I thought, well, I'll be inspired by that. I won't copy it, right? We don't want to copy. Um, but I'll be inspired by that. And I did a similar process of sketching in pencil and coloring in crayon, and then taking a picture, putting it into ArtRage. I take a picture and I fine tune it online. So I just type in like free photo editor, and then I increase the saturation, and I change a few things so that if I want to make it into a stencil, which I don't know if you can see how there's almost like a layered sort of effect, right? That's because I turned the entire image into a stencil. Like the actual drawing is underneath these like watercolor and um, other paintings, paint parts, and from ArtRage, and then there's a stencil on top of it. So have a lot kind of going there. I might go in more and kind of adjust it more, but as it is, it's you know a colorful source of joy at this stage. This guy is a barrel eye. This is a barrel eye fish. And once again, I might go in more on the screen. It's not so just like densely blue, right? When I look at it as a JPEG, it's lighter and there's maybe a little bit more variation. So I've thought about going in to maybe add some highlights, some like depth and dimension. Although the reality is that as a deep sea fish, it might be fairly heavy where he is. There's another deep sea creature that I came across in our lesson about deep sea animals. And then these, I believe, are his eyes that kind of glow and illuminate um, around him. And then these eye looking features are actually the nostrils. And it's just so brilliant. Barrel eye fish are so brilliant because this is transparent, right? So this part, I hope I even like somewhat captured the idea that there is sort of like a transparent portion of his head that has these eyes in them. Just a really marvelous creature. So I thought I will draw that. Same process as before. So I do enjoy that process of, kind of drawing and then painting. I think you can see more of the original drawing in this than you can in any of the others, right? So if I show this one, granted in the first one there's some pencil markings, but this one is like Micron pen. So I bought some Micron pens and I try using them a little bit for some cross hatching, for some definition, and yeah, it's been enjoyable. So once again, I might make some more tweaks to it. I've been thinking about getting into non-fungible tokens. Um, I'm not really sold on the idea, but if I do, this is on the list of one that might be turned into an NFT. Um, some of my more kind of like complex. I've got some I might show you later that are more sort of simplistic designs. And those I wouldn't mind continuing to sell on my Etsy shop, but the more complex ones I'm thinking they could maybe enjoy a life as a non-fungible token. So still not quite sure what it is, an NFT, but I'm learning. It's I dabble in the coins, so not heavily because my MO is don't invest anything that you don't mind losing, right? So you don't want to like put your rent money into like Ethereum, right? So, but if it's money that you don't mind losing, from my perspective, it's fine to just put it in there and see what happens. And so then the extension of that as an artistic person is to be like, oh, um, what is this non-fungible nonsense? So here you can kind of see, I think this is before and after I cleaned the printer. Or I pressed that kind of cleaning setting on the printer. So that is kind of curious because there's just a really big difference between these two from my eye. There's quite a large difference. So what I'd like to do, I would maybe like to digitize this one a little bit better because this is just crayon. So this is just pencil with crayon. I went over with Micron pen in some areas. And I do like it just as it is largely. I might add some digital paint elements to just smooth out certain areas. Maybe try to add some more water-like features to the back. But other than that, I enjoy it as it is. And let me think. I enjoy it as it is. Yeah, so if I do get a printer and I reprint these, I might just do just a real quick show of what they are. But yeah, I'm hoping to do this somewhat often, just to kind of studio progress report because it's easier. It's definitely easier. I get kind of self-conscious and shy when I do the process videos. So I start drawing and the camera's there and I start to get kind of shy and self-conscious. And I don't know that it turns out the same, I just don't know if it does. So I'm not writing those off forever. I might someday do them again. But for the time being, I think I'd like to just do these little tours of the studio process and kind of updates, and then I can share with you where to find various works. I think I don't know if I tried to use copyright, Creative Commons music, but the way it just disappeared like that, it is mysterious. It is so mysterious. But yeah, so there's just a few of the works from the studio, and I honestly just can't wait to come back and show you some more. I think it'll be great.